100 bits all at once. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alright, guys. Let's kick off into the third place match. As you can tell, we're moving pretty quickly here. Yeah, I didn't really think about how early I had to wake up today and how long this might go. So we are currently on like a passion cast. I'm pretty tired. So if I make a couple mistakes, if the observance is bad, you can shout at me all you want. I will not care because I will blame it on waking up so early. So there you go. I've got my excuses out of the way already. I know what's up. I know what, you know, I know how to play this game. I know how to play this game. Get the excuses out early. And we go from there. To the top left-hand side, guys, our red Terran player. Oh, you don't want to miss this series, I don't think. This is going to be amazing. Our red Terran player is INnoVation. In the third place match, because he lost a hero. And that is why also Rogue is in this match, because he lost to Neeb. So Neeb hero in the grand finals. It's INnoVation Rogue in the third place match. Both are best of fives. Go tell people, guys. Go tell your friends. Go tell everyone to come tune in, because this should be an amazing series. This should be an awesome TvZ and a fun PvP to wrap things up as well tonight. 2 more best of 5s to go. If you're enjoying the stream, hit that follow button. If you really enjoy, consider hitting that sub button. You get replay packs and more. You get to support the channel and help me continue casting full time. Just as a quick, as we set up into this Hatch Gas Pool versus Reaper Expand, I just want to quickly mention as a heads up what's happening in the next couple of weeks with me. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know I've just been away for a weekend. I'm actually going to be away Friday, Saturday, Sunday because it's WCS Challenger weekend, so there's not a lot to cast. Because of that, I will be gone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to be socializing, having a social life. I know, how amazingly weird is that? So this week, I'm going to be live Wednesday and Thursday with Kung Fu Cup. Wednesday, I'm going to be casting Kung Fu Cup 3 from replays. Kung Fu Cup 4 on Kung Fu Cup 4 will be on Thursday as well through the day. So that's our action for the rest of this week. Wednesday and Thursday, Kung Fu Cup action. When I come back on Monday and Tuesday, we'll have a couple more games as well. On Wednesday, I'm going to be flying out to Canada because I'm going to be casting at the BTSL Finals. So you'll be able to catch me there. I'm going to be trying to do some streams while I'm away. Obviously, it depends on my internet connection, etc. But I do have a setup to stream from. So fingers crossed it's going to be all good. And if it is all good, I'm going to be able to give you guys, or show you guys, a whole bunch of StarCraft deos. And yeah, I will be able to kind of cast a little bit while I'm away. But I am going to be going to Canada, Vancouver to cast BTSL. After BTSL, I'm going to be going to New York and Philadelphia. That's a little bit of kind of me time, vacation time. Although I will be, again, trying to stream a couple of different events while there. And then after that, I'm going to be going to WCS Austin. So I'm going to be, again, the rest of this month's a bit shaky. We're definitely not streaming as much as we would usually like to. I'm going to do my best to make sure that we do put out as much content as possible and stuff like that. And when we come back in June, we are going to be going all out with StarCraft content. It's going to be insane how much there is. So hope you're looking forward to all of that. But just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an initial update and just an idea, just in case you're wondering, you know, what's coming up on the month. It's definitely not going to be the craziest month from us, but you will be able to see me, for example, again at BTSL. I'll cast on base trade. I'll be trying to cast here and there whenever I have good enough internet too as well, and all of that good stuff. So do check it out when you can. Very quickly before we really talk about this game, though, I want to say thank you so much to Supply Depots United, who donates $25 and says, build more of us. Do it, INnoVation. Build more Supply Depots. There you go. He listened to you. This is like the Supply Depots United little trifecta. Could be like the Supply Depots United logo. Thank you so much for the $25 donation. So generous. As that Viking picks off an Overlord. I was going to say, the lair coming up with the Rotron does look a little bit like a Nidus, though. And it's a very popular Nidus-based map. Because sometimes the Terrans get a bit greedy taking this third command center very early in the game. I'm not sure how I feel about it this time around, though. Because right now it kind of feels like the dream is right there for INnoVation at the moment. Armory coming up. And as the Armory comes up, a couple of Hellions going to keep on popping out. And as deep, you know, Hellions pop out, they can turn into Hellbats to defend. There's going to be some Cyclones in play, which is going to be a little bit intriguing. So let's see what happens with this Nidus. Getting ready to come down. The Overseer comes in from the right-hand side. Going to be getting ready to come on through as we do see the Hellbats and the Cyclones. See no drones on the third. Look at that read from INnoVation. He's like, no drones at all. Okay. He just pulls back instantly. He knows what's up. These Hellions will try and drive by into the natural. And honestly, it's a bit of an open natural. Some units will jump out the Nidus to deflect, but not before some drones will go down. INnoVation gets 2 drones so far. Make that 5. Make that 7. And he's going to get a couple more as well. So already good damage does. The Nidus starts to drop down in the main base. Just going to be seeing those few Hellions gathering up, moving in towards Hellbats, and we are going to see them, well, just right away here. Going to start fighting against this Nidus, but the Queen's transfusions are good. He is still going to get the Nidus. SCV's pulling in as well. The Cyclone's in the back helping out. The auto turret from the Raven helping out a little bit here and there as well, to the point where Rogue just types out GG. He doesn't do enough damage. INnoVation with the shutdown. Happens in game number 2. Again, thanks so much, Supply Depots United, for that $25 donation during the game number 1. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Do appreciate it. Currently down 363 subs, which is awesome, guys. Our goal is to try and stay above 300 subs overall, especially with this month for being a little bit on and off. Yeah, that's our kind of current goal. We're gonna have a big drop off in a few days, which is okay. I think again, if we stay above 300, it should be awesome. Anyways, we'll see what happens. We'll see how much I can stream when I'm away as well. If I can stream a couple of, especially if I can stream like the Kung Fu Cup events or something, that'd be amazing. Anyways, to the bottom right hand side, the blue Terran player is INnoVation. Going up against the red Zerg, down a game now. This is Rogue, and this is a pretty important match. Third place matches, you know, a lot of the time people are like, oh, just lost in the semis. Who wants to play another match after I lost? You know, I'm not going to win the tournament. Well, this is the difference between, $3,500 for third place and $0 for fourth place. So that's what's been going on. So that's what the difference is. This is a big matchup. It's a big best of 5. INnoVation gets a big first game to get this rolling for himself here. We're all going to be seeing this Overlord coming down through the center of the map at the moment. And on the left-hand side, we do see an Overlord just sat out as well. SCV going to be coming up through the center too. See what else is going on. And again, the Reaper expansion is well underway for the first couple of minutes. So Reaper expansion underway. We're going to be seeing a command center dropping down in natural expansion, and you know, just going to be having the Marine follow up just in case it is a pool first. It just means that he's going to be able to have like a Marine or so at home just to be able to help him defend against the potential Lings. It also means the factory comes down, then the reactor. It's a very minor difference, and we are going to be seeing what happens. How much do we earn for watching the third place playoff? You earn, I don't know, it depends how much you value awesome StarCraft 2 content at. I guess you don't earn money. You definitely earn enjoyment and fulfillment and an experience, you know? I could buy a lot of Pokemon cards with $3,500. Well, there you go. I mean, if that isn't motivation to become a StarCraft 2 pro, I don't know what is. You could buy a ton of Pokemon cards if you win WCS. Holy shit. That's why Reynolds got so good. He just needed a way to fund his Pokemon card addiction. Oh my god, guys, we figured it out. Kids these days, they'll do anything for those Pokemon cards. They can even become one of the best StarCraft players in the world. Crazy. Memes aside, if I win a StarCraft tournament, I actually know what the first thing I bought would be. Well, what the first thing I would buy would be. What would you guys buy? If you guys won WCS this weekend, even though WCS isn't this weekend, well, Challenger is, but not main WCS. If you guys won a WCS, what would be the first thing you bought? Okay, scrap that. If you won a BlizzCon, what would be the first thing you bought? If you win BlizzCon, you fly home, you get home, the money comes into your bank account the next day somehow, even though it's esports. What would you buy? I'd buy 4 donkeys as the Donk Punch. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's actually straight up the strangest answer I think we're gonna get. So I'll just stop right there. Thank you for the answer. 4 donkeys. He's a BlizzCon champion. He owns 4 donkeys. What more do you need in the world? I'd buy a computer so I can play StarCraft. Oh, that's a good investment. If you can win BlizzCon without your own computer in the first place, that would be truly something else. That would be truly amazing. Pokemon cards and the in-control announcer pack. Whoa. Stepping it up. Stepping it up. I buy a 50th of a 2-bed house in London. Ay. Alright, guys. Good memes. We do see Hellions coming across the map. A medevac to support it, an armory on the way, and a couple of Cyclones too. So this will turn into some potential Hellbat attack. if he wants it to. It definitely looks as though it's going to be some sort of a mech style. As you are going to be seeing the Viking coming over to the left-hand side. Why not 5 donkeys? 4 is just stupid. Well, okay, guys, shall we change the question? If you won BlizzCon, how many donkeys would you buy? Better question. Would you just buy the 4? Or would you go for more? Okay, anyways, in serious mode, this is a fairly quickish lair again, but it's not as quick as last time. There's a few roaches coming out, but it's really just in preparation of this Hellbat attack coming through from INnoVation. You need something here to deal with this that's a little bit sturdy, and, well, at the same time, Hellbat's in the main, that's why you need it, because you have to be a little bit split up to deal with this one, and Lings just don't do the job quite as well, and Queens, you just need that little extra. Even Roaches over here having a bit of a tough time. Viking even lands to join in. The attack in the main base doesn't do a lot. INnoVation will save 2 of those Hellbats, as we are going to be seeing. Man, these Queens are lasting a little while. These Cyclones are still around doing damage. In the end, pulls back out over to the right-hand side, down, and we are going to be seeing the Viking will get picked off. 7 is just the optimal number of donkeys. Okay, well, I'm down with 7. My birthday is on the 7th of the month, so 7's my favorite number. So I would totally be down for 7 donkeys. Fatal Bunny just hits us up with our Twitch Prime sub as well. How you doing, Fatal Bunny? And welcome to the Wardy family. How many donkeys would you buy? That might be the weirdest question I've ever asked a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate the support. I'm glad the donkey conversation made you realize that you had to click that subscribe button. You know, sometimes I watch a stream and you know, I watch for a few hours and I'm like, you know, this is cool. This guy's really good at this game. You know, he's 360 no-scoping everybody. You know, he doesn't even have a gun and he's 360 no-scoping people. Like, you know, he's super good. But I don't subscribe. God, when they talk about donkeys, I fucking can't press the sub button fast enough. It's insane. It's insane. I don't know why we're still talking about donkeys. Do you see a third CC moving out from INnoVation? This has been pretty uninteresting first 7 minutes of the game compared to the last game where the game was over by now. I mean, in game number 1, obviously the Night Assault came in through this time. Obviously the Hellbats and the Cyclones got a little bit of something done, but I mean, you know, Rogue defended, right? And once he defends, he's in that sort of position where INnoVation just sort of sits back too. He's playing mech, quite obviously. Extra factories have come into play. Armories have come down for upgrades, and so, you know, with the mech style, you just sort of sit back a little bit and, you know, wait until you've built up. You don't really look for that fight just yet. These Cyclones should be good with +1 vehicle weapons to push back the Roaches as well. So the Roach is going to be pushed away for the moment as the Hydra's Den comes on down. We're going to see a Hive in the main base also. One upgrades coming through from Rogue here. I mean, such a fast Hive, just getting that Viper count up nice and quickly. The sooner you have the Vipers, the sooner you can get the energy on them, and the sooner you're ready to use their utilities in the engagements. I mean, if you already have Abduct so early in the game, it's so difficult for the Terran to keep a stable tank count up. If you can force fights where you're coming in with blinding clouds, etc., it can go so well for you as well. As you do see those Roaches moving out in a couple different directions, those rocks get knocked down and pops a Crypt Tumor while he's at it. Unfortunately, the rocks take no prisoner. INnoVation with some more Vikings on the way up. An interesting contaminate just on one of the Tech Lab factories, just slowing down some siege tank production. And again, it's something, you know, it's one of those little things that doesn't have a massive effect on the game usually, but you never know the one time you win a fight because that one extra tank isn't there. I mean, if you can put it down, you may as well do it. It's not quite Dark versus Euthermal levels of Overseer and, you know, delaying of structures where, I mean, Dark literally went mass Overseer and spammed Contaminate on all of those factories to stop the production cycles endlessly, it felt like. But that was a really weird game from WESG. If you guys didn't see that, you should go check it out. It was really, really something else. Is the game sped up? I hope not. That'd be a bit of a disaster on my end. Let's go normal. As you just see these few units from INnoVation coming out through the center. Hellions, Hellbats, Cyclones, and tanks all gathered up together here at the moment, as we do see Roaches and Hydras coming over to the left-hand side actually just for a moment, and we do see a Cyclone here in the main. Is going to get rid of a Hydra. That's pretty much the end of that drop play, though, that's been going on since the earlier stages. And we are going to be seeing those rocks on the right-hand side just taking some damage as well. I mean, INnoVation with so many Hellions and Cyclones really does have a bit more of a mobile mech army than you might usually see. And so for now, he's trying to take use of that. Nice idea, locking onto the Vipers to try and take them down with the Cyclones. But the double abduct is good. And that's a couple of free Cyclones that go down in the end. And it saves the Vipers at the same time. So, two birds with one stone, or 2 Cyclones with 2 abducts, I guess was the case. We're all going to be seeing the Spire is on the way up in the main base. A couple more Evo Chambers on the way out here at the moment. We are going to be seeing the +2 Carapace, the +2 missile upgrade coming in right now. Oh, we're going to see some tunneling claws. I like it. A little bit of harassment-focused gameplay going up against this mech style here. So going to be using those roaches around the map to try and see what he can do. Again, Evo Chambers finishing in the center. That's not for more upgrades, guys. That is for the Vipers to get their NG up. And, well, this Roach Hydra Force looks to be doing okay for now as the Greater Spire starts to come on through. Seeing the Hellions pulling back in towards the upper left-hand side. Just going to see a Queen trying to do some more damage. And we do see the Blue Flame taking some more shots as well. And again, a few drones getting picked off here. Here come the Roaches trying to move around and see what they can do. The right-hand side as well. A little bit early before the siege tank play is... or before the burrow play can come into kind of action to stop those siege tanks from just immediately getting shots off unless turrets are prepared. I like that though. Burrows one Roach off over to the left side. I guess there is missile turrets kind of around to stop those Roaches from burrowing too many places. The only place there isn't really turrets is the left-hand side. So, I'm going to see the command center just set up on above the Roach. You see the Roaches taking some damage right here as again, Roaches, Hydras, and Vipers coming out into the center. A few 4s on the way out right now as well. Interesting composition from INnoVation. What does he want the 4s for? Just to help against the Brutes? I guess so. Meanwhile, we see Corvid Reactor starting up, and that is a sign that we're going to be seeing some Ravens here. I guess the 5 Starports is also a pretty good sign of that. It's probably going to start seeing Raven production very soon, and looks like INnoVation really just playing for this super late game scenario at the moment. As you see, well, the Roaches have really been trying to deny this 5th base for as long as possible. Tanks and Hellbats come on through, and they will be able to clean up the Roaches. So the Roaches going down. And INnoVation is, sitting strong. Really very minimal trades. 3.5 to 5k resources lost. There's not a ton of units throughout the game. Just a few small scraps here and there. We haven't really seen a major fight for a little while. It's because, I guess Rogue's kind of happy just setting up in towards Broodlords, and INnoVation's just sort of like, okay, well, if you're not fighting into me, I'm just happy taking bases and building up my own bank. See where I can go from there. Hydras, Vipers coming over to the left-hand side. A few Roaches as well from Rogue. Coming down the right to see what else they can do. And you're all going to be seeing the Hellions coming in. And, well, if Blue Flame actually do pretty well against the Hydras, the issue is so many Hydras will just wreck those Hellions no matter what. So, can't really do too much there as we are going to be seeing. Maybe INnoVation should get rid of those rocks just because right now they cause us some trouble, making it a bit slow for him to move down to the low ground once again. And if he needs to move back up to the high ground here quickly, those rocks being down would only benefit him. Hellions to the right-hand side get found and caught by the Roaches. In a way, it kind of feels like INnoVation just wants to get rid of them anyways to kind of make room for Ravens, but definitely better ways to get rid of a set of Hellions. Actually try to run by a base would be great. Rogue actually gets this forward expansion here. If you can hold on to that for a while, that would be amazing, because it isn't a base that's very easily held onto. So actually being able to hold onto it would go quite a way. As we do see some Roaches backing off to the right-hand side. Hydras and Vipers coming up the left. And again, all of these units just gathering together. There's quite a few of them over here, as we are going to be seeing the tanks, the 4s. Clean up a little bit of creep spread here and there. Finds an Overlord over here which he wants to take down, push away. Take this bottom right base. So INnoVation going up to his 6th base of the game. Now he only has his own forward left-hand side base to take later on here. He's got every base he can on the map. Unless he stops taking Rogue's bases, of course. That would be something. 3 more Ravens on the way up. A couple more 4s. A few more command centers continue to come on through. And a Raven just... Oh, a couple of Ravens just gathering themselves together here. And this production started up a little while ago. They're building up energy. Obviously, anti-armor missiles are going to be very difficult to deal with, as we do see. Well, a siege tank here, planetary fortress. Tank gets a good few shots off initially, and more tanks on their way over. Not in range of the planetary anymore, though, so you will actually lose a couple of these tanks, although sieged up units obviously work pretty well. Looks like INnoVation is just rebuilding the siege tank line off over to the left-hand side. The Spore Crawler march starts up down the right, and Rogue is going to start setting himself up in this forward creep spread. And now he's got this kind of baseline position to push with, where he's going to have support of the Spore Crawlers against air units trying to come forwards for shots, you know, spellcasts and whatever, whether it's the Vikings or the Ravens. Infest is on the way as well, so you can maybe try and catch some of those air units in fungal growths. Maybe some infested Terrans can come into play here. I have to say, Rogue really has just let INnoVation get up towards the Ravens this game. I mean, it's kind of tough. How do you stop him from getting up into the Ravens? Well, I mean, in a way, I guess you kind of don't. Like, you know, the Ravens are pretty... Yeah, the Raven, you know, on this map in particular, it's very difficult to kind of really stop that Raven production starting. Because it's so easy to sit defensively on Catalyst while also having multiple bases to have the gas count for Ravens. That was nice, by the way. The missiles go off, but he got a couple of ducks, so he did get some Raven kills. While the Ravens did some damage, I don't think they actually killed anything just yet. 60 minutes in, and again, it was a very passive early to mid-game, giving us kind of an accelerated super late-game scenario here with Ravens and Broodlords all over the place already. There's a lot of Vikings, so there is a good answer to these Broodlords. It's not like INnoVation's just trying to fight them with 4s and Ravens. The Viking count is good as well. I mean, that's the benefit of having built 5 starports all at the same time before. And now, well, a couple of fungal growths coming down. I love these tanks top left. They come up to find a base, but they just don't find it. It's not here! Surprise! I took the base on the right side, says Rogue. That's not something you see every day, is it? INnoVation's probably like, no, Rogue, it isn't. Why on earth would you do that? That doesn't really make much sense. Well, it does make sense because you can hold it. And for now, it's working out. And these tanks, they are in trouble. And what are they even going to kill here? A couple of Hydras in the end? And ducks forwards makes them lose an attack or so. I mean, tanks go down. I mean, he's just trading them out. He's not interested in the tanks. And he kind of feels though the couple of tanks. Does he even have tanks left over anywhere? He has 3 of them. 1 here, with these roaches still around. 1 here and 1 here. So one of them is going to go down. He's really just fully committed in towards Viking Raven 4. That's exactly what he's going for. And again, those tanks looked weird, but originally they were meant to deny this base, and that was like the way he wanted to trade them out. But that base wasn't there, so obviously he went a bit wrong. Anti-armor missiles on the infestors are a little bit more valuable because they actually get the kills. INnoVation going to lose his forward 5th base, though. I guess it was the 4th originally. So he loses that position, which is 2 fairly fresh refineries. I say fairly fresh. It's got 1,000 gas apiece on them still. And it was a 4th base, and 17 minutes in, it was mining for about 10 minutes or so already. Tank firing away on some of those roaches that popped up now. Killing another refinery, really limiting the gas here. Gas being limited is actually a pretty big thing, as we are going to be seeing. We're seeing these forwards continue to push on forwards, and well, here we go. The Ravens coming forwards, passing. Bombs will come down on a couple of Ravens. INnoVation splits away. The entire Zerg army starts to kind of just melt away. Here come the Vikings as well. A few infested Terrans on the ground. The 4s are fighting where they can. The Vikings are starting to go down, though. The infested Terrans are huge. The Queens as well. Rogue loses a lot, but Rogue's the one with the bank to rebuild with quickly. INnoVation, I feel as though by the time they both remax, they're actually going to be very similarly timed. INnoVation just sort of keeps a bit more of his army alive, and Rogue is able to have a bigger bank, so he's able to just rebuild all at once. Only 4,000 resources lost between them, still in favor of Rogue, who is up a base, remember, with this base held here and this base denied. There's 1 base on each side of the map that's currently not taken, although Rogue will start to expand there now. The Hellbats moving forwards, Ravens come forwards as well for another couple of shots. They don't have tons of energy, but they have a little bit. And they drop some anti-armor missiles again, trying to fight maybe while we're still low on kind of infestor energy. Another few infested Terrans pop out to defend, although I guess that does drain the infestors once more. And the infestors being drained yet again means that now they can't really do anything for yet another minute or so. I guess in less than a minute they'll have time, you know, energy for another couple of infested Terrans, but it's not really ideal. There's a few of them over here trying to deny this orbital base, which is being placed over here. INnoVation is still very close to being maxed out as Rogue has remaxed. But another fight like that and Rogue will not be able to afford a remax. That's his current issue. He now only has 3,000, 3,500, 2,000 resources in the bank. As we are going to be seeing Hellbats, 4s, Ravens coming on in. And Just going to be seeing some shots going down right now. Vikings coming into play, and they are starting to get quite a lot of damage done. All the turrets trying to drop just to help out. Here come the Corruptors, and there actually isn't any anti-armor missiles or anything on the Corruptors. The Raven count isn't looking too hot. The Fours need to try and target down the Broods to stop wasting time on Brood lanes. Anti-armor missiles on a bunch of Corruptors as well, and now the Fours will turn to fight, and they'll get a whole bunch of extra damage done here. So a bit of back and forth really, but again, I kind of feel like coming out of this, INnoVation sits on 8 Ravens still, 9 Ravens still. His income seems pretty solid, and Rogue is supply blocked. Rogue had like a huge thousands and thousands of money in the bank before. Now he doesn't have anything, even though the resources lost is still staying very even between the fights. INnoVation making it work out there, as we're going to see Caustic Sprayers. We're going to try and take this base down. We are going to be seeing the Planetary will fall. INnoVation just instantly rebuilds it in location. Sort of accepted that was going to go down right there. An amusing moment or so. Again, Hellbats and Fours into the center. And we are going to see Rogue out of his supply block now. Just having to rebuild Overlords, though, is so frustrating at this stage of the game. You cannot really afford to rebuild Overlords at this stage of the game, right? Like, you don't want to spend 700 minerals on Overlords when you're drained of money trying to remax against a meching army. Pushing forwards here, INnoVation. He's feeling confident now that he's maybe won a couple of fights and that he can make something happen, but decides to back away. I'd actually love it if he just straight up repaired his army before he actually committed to anything. That would make a lot of sense, and it would go a huge way to help out. And let's pull back towards the center again here to the right-hand side. Well, not really too much going on. Plus 3 ship weapons coming down in this armory in the natural, and we're just going to be seeing still some more Hydras down the right side, looking to maybe try and get rid of this command center that's built. And the one tank, surprisingly enough, isn't enough to defend. Corruptors will come around. They will Caustic Spray down the bottom left-hand base. Oh, Blue Flame Hellions will actually come in to save the day. This Planetary Fortress, command center for now will finish. Oh, that was a lot of Hydras. Hydras on their own just don't quite cut it. He does kill bottom left, but now those Corruptors on their own. The Fours, are they fast enough to get there in time? They need to be moving up and left, not down and left. Didn't quite get in the right position. Now some drones being roasted. Again, Rogue's already struggling to rebuild a bank, so losing some drones here definitely isn't going to help. Has to rebuild 15 immediately. Get those back up, and once again, this base now taken by Rogue, and, well, this base taken by INnoVation means that actually both the players are taking that final base, which they hadn't had for themselves just until now. Another couple of drones, and finally those Hellions are going to get dealt with as they run Spine Crawlers on the top right. Rogue maxed out, INnoVation a little bit lower than maxed out, but again, I wonder if he is just sort of giving Hellions up, trading them out because he wants to rebuild a few more Ravens and so on now, although that said, he has quite a lot of free supplies, so he didn't have to give all of them up so quickly. In fairness, they were quite successful, Hellions. As Roaches run in, and the command center does lift on up. Just going to see these couple of refineries here are going to start taking some damage. Plus 3 ship weapons coming through, a couple of tanks, 5 Hellbats, the Raven as well. All of this still coming out here from INnoVation. More Roaches down the left side will try and deny this base, which is just coming back online. This Corrupt has caused a lot of chaos, man. They killed off the right-hand side base initially, then the bottom left, and since then, INnoVation has struggled to keep those bases alive. But now the Roaches will just go for the missile turrets. I guess the issue is INnoVation's kind of defensive army is literally 4s, and you can't really use those so well defensively, actually. I love the anti-armor missile on those Roaches. It actually helps so much for these Hellions to actually get just that little bit more damage done as they do chase that away. This command center should be able to drop in position any second now. Even if low on health, a repair will fix that so quickly. Another missile turret would go a long, long way right now. Just to help deal with those burrowed Roaches coming back into play also. 2 more Ravens on the way up. Oh my god, I didn't see the Raven count for a little while. The last time I checked it was 9, now it's 17. That's 17 Ravens. Well, I don't know how this next fight's going to look, but I don't think it's going to be pretty if you're a Zerg player. Feels like INnoVation has kind of found himself on the motherload of units. You know, this is exactly where he wants to be. You know, when he started up this game earlier, this is exactly where he wanted to end up. As we're going to be seeing some Hydras and Roaches here. Denying a base, I mean, honestly, Rogue's doing a fantastic job of denying these. I just don't know how he takes the larger fight. I really don't know how he does, and I mean, I'm very excited to see what he does do. I'm excited to see what his answer to this is right now. Command center does survive. This base down here, by the way, is also burning. About to finish morphing into Planetary. Unfortunately, that doesn't heal. It's not like a Roach into a Ravager. It doesn't get a full heal. Oh, and the Hydra's coming to finish it off as well. INnoVation loses that base just because he didn't repair it in the end. A little bit of a shame. He has an orbital he can move into position, but I don't know if he wants to use an orbital. Yes, why not? He has his gases still running, by the way, and this gas up here is running too, so that's very important for him. Pushing forwards, and he's going to go for this base, which in fairness, actually has a lot of gas left on it, 2.2k. It's basically full extractor almost. It's got a good full 8 patches as well, not full, but they've definitely not too used up. As you're going to see the anti-armor missiles starting to come down. A few fungal growth starting to hit the front edge of these Ravens. More anti-armor missiles, and I mean, he's just straight up killing those Broodlords as the Ravens come on in and use their energy. There's just no answer. That's a lot of anti-armor missiles as the Broodlords finish. Oh my god, they just melt. Again, it's a lot of energy already used. We're going to see, we're going to see Infested Terrans here. Hellbats, a couple of them come through, and they actually do a lot. As you're going to be seeing the fours are able to back away. Auto turrets coming down to Hellbat as well. The Hellbat's the biggest thing though. And as the Infested Terrans disappear, we're going to be seeing those Corruptors. They're disappearing too. Rogue has 95 supply remaining. Everything has gone down. INnoVation with a fight that's worked out for him. And it looks as though he's going to take game 2. And INnoVation is going to be up 2-0 in this $3,500 third place match. That's the difference between third place and fourth place. Fourth place leaves with nothing at all from this offline tournament, which they traveled out to China to play in. Another couple of mules go up and down here. We're going to be seeing those Hellbats coming forwards, picking off a Roach. I mean, Rogue is still denying some of the economy of Inno. Inno doesn't have a lot to rebuild with, but when Inno's energy comes back on these Ravens, it's going to be so terrifying. The power he's going to have with them once again. As we're going to be seeing, well, 4 more siege tanks on the way out, 5 more Roaches coming through. Rogue played for this stage of the game. He didn't do much to end it earlier. Yes, arguably the map doesn't let you do it, but Rogue let INnoVation get to this position. He let INnoVation get to the later game and to build up this Raven count. And that's kind of, that's where he's at now. Now he's struggling to deal with it. Will he be able to find an answer? I honestly don't really know, as we're going to be seeing a few more Zerglings coming back up the left. Another scan coming down. As the scan comes down, we are going to be having this group of Hellions, Fours, and Ravens spreading out to see what they can do as well. And it looks like Rogue might just be kind of going for it as well. He kind of knows that he doesn't have much left. Only minerals in the bank. He's not going to build much of use beyond this. Anti-armor missiles will just get rid of so very much here right away. Infested Terrans, Roaches, you name it. GG's called. INnoVation takes game 2 and takes the series to... Oh, memories. Hang on, guys. I think I messed up. Yes, I did. There we go. Alright, let's get into this game 3 of the series. And to the bottom left-hand side, 2-0 up in this third place match. 1 map away from claiming himself the $3,500 third place position. This is INnoVation. As you can see, a couple of SCVs are making their way across the map to throw down a couple of barracks here. And we'll see just how Rogue does in terms of spotting that, responding, and all the rest of it. As to the top right-hand side, our red Zerg player. This is Rogue. Can he fight back from an 0-2 deficit? Well, in fairness, if anyone is known for fighting back from 0-2 deficits, it would be Rogue. Needed I remind you of what happened in the IEM Katowice bracket, and so much more along the way as well. Excited to see how this goes as we set up and we get going. What's up, Heracule, with the 5-month resub in the chat. Thank you so much for the 5 months. Hope you are having a great Monday or Tuesday if you are east of me and in Europe. Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. Appreciate it. Early scout here from Rogue, and he actually just straight up cancelled his hatchery. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, this is so weird. INnoVation's like, wait, you don't have a hatchery? Huh? Rogue expands over here with the idea of just mind gaming INnoVation just a little bit in these early stages. And if I was INnoVation right now, I'd be like, huh? Because you scout the main and the gas pool timing is regular, so do you assume it's on the third base? Do you think it's proxied? It's a bit weird, but what it kind of stops, from happening is the bunkering of the natural and the need to break out of that. But I guess you then have to break out of the bunker on the high ground of your main. It's kind of like a bit of a risk play, so, you know, you take a bit of a gamble of putting the base over here instead. How interesting. Let's see if we have a couple of Marines coming forwards. And we are just going to be seeing the couple of SCVs trying to do some tagging as Marines. Getting blocked from getting back in the bunker. Good control on the Lings. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. And then the Lings go down. Coming forwards now. A drone dropping too. Another couple of Zerglings are going to be coming on forwards. We are going to have... Oh, the two Marines that are low get pulled back. Good micro again by INnoVation, as you would expect. Spinecrawler here now obviously makes this a bit more difficult. As you see the back and forth coming in. Another Marine or two coming forwards. A factory on the way up from INnoVation back at home. Looking to kind of continue this on one base for the moment. Maybe go for a very aggressive follow-up here in the end as well. Marines maybe time to get back in that bunker. Maybe just time to straight up leave. He will salvage. And he will get out of there. So INnoVation backs away for now. As he leaves, he should see the creep on the low ground. So he'll now know where that expansion is. He's going to come straight on over here. There's an Overlord which is low. Isn't actually kind of on its way down just yet. Lings are going to have Ling speed soon. And I should be able to clean this up. It depends still on the kind of the step micro that can come in here from our Terran player. Two more Marines are going to make it to the rest of the army. This hatchery taking some hits. It's on half health now already. Ling speed is seconds away. It's about to finish up, and you can see that INnoVation realizes it. He jumps in between those mineral patches, and that might just be a dead hatchery. Might not actually be a way to kind of do this. Oh, well, here we go. Rogue's going to dive on the Marines, and he is going to be able to clean them up. INnoVation decided to fight the Zerglings rather than target the hatchery down. He tries to target it with two more Marines. Hatchery survives, if only just the Cyclone. Cyclones do what, like? Well, they're going to do, like 50 damage a second here. He just needs to attack for 2 seconds straight. Oh, he's going to get it. Cyclones are so sick, man. They do so much damage, especially against the armored units. So he comes in with the Cyclone to snipe the hatchery. INnoVation, well, doesn't have much at home to defend, but he has the reactors finishing up on the factory, so he will be able to get some Hellions out. And now he starts up his own expansion as well. He starts a Liberator too to keep up the harassment. SCVs do have to pull off the line. And that is going to buy at least a little bit of time here for Rogue, where INnoVation is not mining as well as he could be. And this few SCVs is going to get back into the mineral lines. He's actually not mining that much gas right now, which is probably fine considering he has so much of it. Doesn't really need more. Well, Banshee on the way. It's cloakless for the moment, although I think he's got the gas to get the cloak, and he will start it up now. So, going to go into the Banshee follow-up as we do see Rogue starting to re-expand onto the natural expansion. So he drops his expansion over here, and, well, I mean, now at least he gets his base in the normal position. And, you know, in fairness, he still has some creep spread out on the map over here, so that's something you can utilize to his advantage. Get some creep rolling here nice and quickly. As we are at the moment, just 5 minutes into this game 3 of the day of the third place match. Been live like 6 hours, guys. It's been quite a set of matches we cast so far. We've been casting quite a bit. It's passed very quickly as well. Hope you guys have been having fun. Again, after this we have just one more best of 5, which is Hero versus Neeb, the grand final. Pretty interesting PvP. I don't even know. PvP was the matchup that carried Neeb to that Kesper Cup victory. Is Neeb, is Neeb's PvP in form once again? I really don't know what Neeb's PvP is looking like right now. So I know Hero has been PvP in general. I guess just as a matchup's been very interesting. It's been so aggressive. Anyways, obviously this is TvZ still, and well, I'm kind of getting, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It kind of feels like INnoVation did enough in the early game, though, to just take a lead. I mean, okay, hatchery back up now for Rogue. INnoVation's on a command center. I mean, the work count's been pretty much even. Only just now, Rogue's going to start pulling ahead once again. So, in general, I think this has been very good for Inno. He's just going towards a armory, so he's looking for a Hellbat follow-up. Banshee here doesn't get any kills but forces some workers off of the gas, which will actually slow down Roach production. Rogue gets supply blocked. Bad time to be supply blocked, just as this army of INnoVation could move across the map. I mean, he's got a couple Cyclones, he's got the Hellions, Hellbat's already to go, the armory's ready. INnoVation's just sat at home. I guess, though, where do you attack, right? Like, you look at Rogue's setup, and he only has 2 bases, so do you really just push up this ramp into, you know, Lings and Spines? Well, No, I guess that's kind of a stupid idea, right? In that case, what do you do? Well, I guess you don't do anything. I guess you just sit at home and build up your army. Yes, it would be a nice attack, but I don't think you can... I think you've already got to be kind of happy as Inno that your opponent's just on the, the 2 bases. You don't need to push it any further than that. And the Queen out here is just picking up a drone to kind of stop the 3rd base coming down. Again, delaying it even further for the moment. +1 vehicle weapons coming through from INnoVation also, so... just another upgrade that can come into play is this Banshee. We'll turn one of those Zerglings around at the front, and again, just in general, it's been a decent defense here so far from INnoVation as this SCV heals up the Banshee. We're going to be seeing this older command starting to morph in as well. Banshee will move out in towards the center just a little bit here. Picks off a Zergling, and we do see the changeling coming around the left side as well. 8 meters currently on the way up. A couple of factories coming in, and do see some Cyclones on the way out also. I mean, it's the Cyclones are the anti-air right now, which is kind of terrifying, because I don't know if they're really enough against the mutas. I think sometimes they can be. Sometimes they really can be, but sometimes those mutas, they just get into the right position and they just start to do too much damage, and then, the Cyclones have to jump to the main, something the mutas on the 3rd base, and then... then the Cyclones can't really split up because you need all of them to lock on, otherwise they just don't do enough damage fast enough. And then the mutas just kind of avoid the lock-ons or just get rid of the lock-ons so quickly. And it can be pretty tough here actually, so this could be a bit of a interesting moment or two. We are going to be seeing a second army from INnoVation. Wants to continue with double upgrades here, +2 vehicle weapons and +1 plating. As the mutas, I think he just saw them with this barracks. I mean, he kind of knows they're coming in. He started an engineering bay already, although I don't imagine that's going to finish up with the position it's in, as we are going to be seeing Mineral Line starting to take some hits. Now, Rogue has got a 3rd base up behind this, finally gets this base over here. Meanwhile, INnoVation loses a Banshee because he was paying attention maybe to these SCVs at home. He's going to get one of these mutlas, so that lock-on paid off for him so far. He did slow down the engineering bay from building, so no missile turrets just yet as he dives in towards the 3rd. I mean, that's the issue on this map. And again, there's 3 Cyclones. Is that really going to be enough? Probably not. Probably not. It's it kind of tickles the Mutalisks. When there's a few more locked on, yes, they finally got there. They finally got the kill, but it really did take a few more. Siege Tank in some trouble now as well. I mean, this is one of the big things. If you force 4s and you can kill Siege Tanks, etc., the more of that you do, the better position you get into. As this is really nice, though. The Hellions given vision for the Cyclones. They continue to stay locked on. I just wanted to very quickly say that if you go into a big Roach follow-up, the more tanks you kill now, the more 4s you force, the better a time you're going to have with the Siege Tanks in the future. As we do see those mutas try and jump in. 4 though comes through, and some good splash onto those mutas to keep them low. Another few Roaches just on the way out here at the moment. Just gathering up together, and we are going to be having a couple of Vikings from INnoVation currently on the way out as well. So, a couple of Vikings coming through. And that actually coming in on the 4th base now. Rogue, did he do enough for the Mutalisks? Did he slow INnoVation down? He did some good damage, and he has put himself at a 20 worker lead. I would say he slowed down some mining as well, and if we look at the unit composition of INnoVation, it doesn't feel like a large army. Obviously, it's spread out a little bit, and you look over here, and he's got some Vikings. He does have a couple of tanks. Yeah, it feels as though it did okay for Rogue. I wouldn't say it was necessarily like a big game changer. I wouldn't say it was necessarily one of those, oh my god, this is, everything is so different now. And as we do see those Roaches still dancing around with the Hellions as they try and do something useful. I mean, they wanted to run by, but Rogue was just in position to shut it down. Now these Hellions are kind of backing themselves away in a corner. Lynx have everything covered, and the Roaches have everywhere else covered. And we are going to be seeing those Hellions just going to back away. Back up to the top. Here's going to go after that barracks here, and we do see Cyclones and a couple of 4s and a couple of tanks do start to move forwards here. So INnoVation going to get aggressive. And you see actually already a Ravager in the front just on its own gets taken down, and well, suddenly he has Swarm Hosts on the map, and that's going to make things interesting because there isn't any Hellbats here at all. Oh, this could be deadly. He comes in with the Locust. There isn't any Hellbats to clean it up quickly. The Roaches are on top of this as well. This is terrible for INnoVation. The Locusts are going to get so much done in their initial wave of attack, and suddenly this is just a couple of tanks and a couple of 4s, and these Ravagers can get quite a lot done against something like that, I think. INnoVation's going to keep on trying to press forwards across the map, though. A Ling run by absolutely devastates the 3rd base. Reinforcements are starting to go down as well. INnoVation's going to keep on pushing. This attack is all or nothing for him at the moment, but unfortunately, I think it's going to come out being a little bit more nothing than it will be all, because these top fours are going to go down. The one tank on the high ground won't do much. The mutas are over here, continue to pick away at the third base in case anything tries to come back into play, and INnoVation just has no way to survive these counter-attacking roaches now coming across the map. INnoVation just got caught off guard, and Rogue is going to be able to pull himself back into it after a very... I really thought the early 2 racks was very successful for INnoVation, and obviously that wasn't where it went wrong. It was the Mutalisk getting enough damage done, catching INnoVation really off guard there. Well, here come the Locusts off cooldown again, so obviously they're going to have something to say about this, and they are going to really make pushing forwards here just that much simpler. And as you see the Locusts just jumping in, I mean the siege tank goes down. Another one as well. Maybe this game doesn't end right here, but I think maybe it does. Maybe, you know, maybe he survives this wave of Locusts and he tries to hold on a bit longer, but obviously the extra Locust showed up, and INnoVation has to tap out the GG. Excuse. We have a best of 5 to do after this as well. We're going to try and power through it, guys. For now, though, let's do it on backwater. And as we have to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran, INnoVation. And to the top left-hand side, the red Zerg, it is Rogue. Oh no, I traveled and have a cool life. I know. It's fucking terrible, isn't it? God forbid I tell people that I've had a long day and that I'm still trying to cast after a long day. I just want people to have a heads up that I might be a little bit off my A game in casting because of that. I'm so sorry that that makes you so sad. Ay, ay, ay. What's up, Chamber66 coming in with the sub? How you doing? Thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the Wardy family. How you doing today? Let's see some love in the chat for Chamber66. Do appreciate it. Now just going to be setting up and getting ready to go. And as we get into the first couple minutes, obviously not really much to be looking at here for the most part. It's one of those, well, it's one of those backwater games, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if INnoVation just went into the third base on this map. We've seen him did a little bit earlier against, was it Scarlet he did it against? Oh, we definitely saw TvZ earlier. Was it a TVP where he went for the fast free CC against Hero? It could be the case. No, I feel like in one of the games against Scarlet or something, he went fast free CC and he went for the Cloakless Banshee, because we definitely talked about that at some point today, so... It's definitely, you know, if you want to do that build in a series, Backwater is a great map to do it on, because obviously it's one of the maps where you get that third base so easily, so you definitely go for it if you would like to. It's definitely a possibility here. As you all can see that Reaper coming on over to the left-hand side, and is going to be coming through. Try and get some info, but Ling's in position. Rogue reads this so well, and it's not just a shutdown and scouting. That's a straight-on shutdown on the Reaper. The Reaper gets killed. That's not what we were probably expecting to... that's probably not what we're expecting to see that. I mean, a little bit of a mistake from INnoVation. Not really meant to lose the Reaper in that scenario. Unfortunately, he does, so... Small mistake from our Terran player. But early stages, I mean, losing the Reaper isn't the end of the world. It's nice to keep it alive and it can give you some info, but right now it doesn't look like Rogue's doing anything that you in particular kind of need the Reaper to see. Obviously that means that maybe INnoVation is still preparing for, or potentially preparing for a couple of things which could kind of go, you know, which could come aggressively at him, but he's not actually going to have to deal with those, and that could be a negative, but... Considering he has a third CC finish, and I think he's pretty set on the build he wants to go for, which is the Cloakless Banshee, and so he doesn't really change anything with this. It just goes into his very standard setup. He actually goes for the Viking anyway, so he sort of feels okay still. So he's going to go Viking and then into the Cloakless Banshee, I guess, for defense if he feels he needs it, although in this game he could probably get away with skipping it. He could probably get away with skipping it. Let's see if that's something he chooses here. And so you are just going to be seeing those couple of Evo Chambers coming down, couple of refineries coming up, and a Viking about to pop out as well up in this main base. As Wardy opens a drink. Exciting times, I know. I haven't had a chance to go get some water today. So I'm just being a degen, cracking open a couple of cans of pop. Terrible, terrible person, I know. What can I say? It's been one of those days. I can't believe we just came in. It was one of those. It was a bit hectic, I guess. Anyways, this is an interesting development. INnoVation throwing down double armory. He's gonna play mech here on backwater. I mean, mech worked for him on Catalyst. He got set up in towards that Raven style. Do wonder what Rogue will try and do differently this time around to try and fight against those Ravens potentially. It's going to be seen as Zergling taking another couple of shots here. Rotron finishing up for Rogue. +1 missiles, +1 carapace coming through, and we are going to see the Spore Crawl on the third base. A couple more factories coming on down, and a couple of refineries on the third as well. So yeah, setup here.
Alright for the moment.
Viking comes in to shut down that Overlord. And we are just going to be seeing this Viking again pushed away to the side as well. Again, +1/+1 still coming through right now here for Rogue. So he's still coming through with that. And again, those couple of extra factories going to be jumping onto those tech labs. Going to be trying to get set up in towards... I wonder if, I guess he'll probably go 4s here first, right? He's got the stop off the reactors. He's definitely set up to go in towards 4s. And that 4 drop, which can obviously keep the Zerg busy for a while and deal some damage. And there it is. The 4's coming through. I imagine the Medivacs will start soon. Doesn't need to start right away. The Medivacs are a little bit faster to build than a 4, so you gotta wait a little while if you wanted to prioritize something else. But what else does he have to prioritize? His factories are producing. There's 1-1 has started. I guess he doesn't have anything to really build instead, apart from, you know, arguably maybe 2 more factories and then start the Medivacs. Because if you start the Medivacs, yeah, it actually might have worked out, but maybe it didn't work out on minerals. I'm looking at it from like a gas point of view. Obviously the mineral count's a bit different there, so I'm sure INnoVation has this pretty well figured out. As we are going to see some Hellions find themselves a creep tumor on the top side. Rogue just pushing in towards a 4th base at the moment. So as Rogue takes a 4th, we are going to be seeing the Infestation Pit and the Spire currently coming through for Rogue as well. Roach speed is still on the way up. +2 missile attack will start in the Evo Chamber, and probably +2 carapace as well, it seems. He had both selected, although now he cancels them. Maybe because he's getting into the Spire, which obviously could mean Mutalisks. He wants to build as many Mutas as possible, rather than prioritizing other upgrades. 7 Mutas here to begin with, as we do see the Raven. Will allow him to clean this creep a little bit more efficiently than usual. Has to be so careful with the 4s right now, because if he wants to do something against these Mutas, these 4s are going to be essential. There's so much Roach Ravager though, I'm a little bit worried. And he's going to start boosting away, and that is probably the best case scenario for our Terran player here, getting out of there before the Mutas pop. Because once the Mutas are out, I don't really see a way for him to just lift up and leave. Especially if Roach is underneath. Like, if it's just the Mutas, maybe you can drop the 4s down, do some micro, and you can get a lot done. If Roach is underneath, you don't really have the same opportunity. You lift up here, and the boost away should get him far enough from the Roaches. Is it actually far enough, though? He also has the 4s in a bit of a weird mode to actually fight against Mutalisks. And well, right away, we do see Rogue just taking this fight. A couple of siege tanks in play. The auto turrets come down from the Raven to help out. Mutas hit the 3rd base, though, and Rogue just kind of falling back on what he used in game number 3 to get himself his first point on the scoreboard. The Mutalist play trying to do enough damage with this, and now switching into Swarm Host already in the production tab. He's just going to try and do the same thing as before, so definitely playing very different to how he played on Catalyst. Really just not letting INnoVation get away with playing this sort of very passive style. Rogue's going to bring the fight to him. He's going to drop Locusts on him again and again. He is going to go in with the Mutalisks again and again. He's going to make INnoVation work for this here over the next few moments. Let's see how that plays out. Jimmy's just spreading forwards a little bit now, just to get going. We're going to be seeing a few more Swarm Hosts coming through, but the first set of them are coming over towards this 3rd base. Currently just completely unprotected, so really a prime target. Quick flight over as well from this little ledge over here, so again, you hit fast, you have a lot of time on the Locust to deal damage, and I mean already SCV is going down. That was like 5 or 6 SCVs before they got pulled away, and obviously There's so much more to be picked away at as well. I mean, we're talking depots, we're talking the CC lifted, refineries, and these locusts just do so much damage. Both refineries go down, a couple of different depots. The missile turret that was here, and now the mutants just come back in because there's no missile turret, there's nothing in position. So why not? Well, I guess because the Vikings show up and start to push you away, but could have reacted a little bit sooner to that. He'd already picked off a supply depot, so it's still worthwhile. He actually dives back in, almost as though he just wants to give up these mutalisks and sort of rebuild on something else. He's actually going to add on a couple more roaches at the moment. Meanwhile, a hive on the way up from Rogue in the main base as well, so he's finally getting towards hive tech. Having built so many swarm hosts, obviously you kind of slow down on the hive production compared to usual to be able to afford all of these swarm hosts and to bring them into play. Hellions leading the charge, not really going to do a lot right away there, as we are going to be seeing a couple more Hellions morphing into Hellbats. Well, this time we do see some Locusts moving forwards and look to see what they can do. Nice corrosive bowels as well. Obviously the Hellbats helping to clean up. It will be even better for them soon because they just finished Infernal Pre-Igniter for the next fight, but well, still things kind of go in the way of Rogue, it feels at the moment. Just those Swarmos seem to be getting so much done over here. I mean, this base doesn't go down, but it starts to burn. That is going to hurt. There's a couple more Ravagers start to morph in. Corrosive Bowels don't really hit their marker here. So that's something that goes INnoVation's way. At least he keeps that siege tank alive for that little bit longer. And he's getting a lot of damage done because of that. And there's some more Bowels. A Seeker Missile is not quite going to connect. What's up, Crowdale, with the 45-month resub, almost 4 years of support on the channel. Our longest subscriber. What's up, man? Thank you so much for the 45 months. Appreciate it. See some love in the chat, guys. We see Locust dropping down again. Siege tanks taking some damage. Corrosive Bowels trying to come in wherever possible. INnoVation's holding his own in the middle of the map. INnoVation is holding his own for the moment. I guess Rogue doesn't have an insane amount of bases to kind of work with here in terms of economy. As you see some Liberators sieging up, and, well, Swarmhost Locusts are coming in but from a distance, and only a few of them at the moment. I guess a few more are about to be off cooldown. But he is going to lose his fourth base, perhaps, if he doesn't act very, very soon. Here you go. It's all about these wave of Locusts. He needs to do something. He's going to try and split up a little bit. He actually drops a lot of them on towards that Hellion on the other side. Corrosive Bowels come down. He'll get rid of the Liberators. The tanks are going to disappear as well. This is a cleanup here from Rogue. INnoVation loses a lot of army. It's a lot of army to have killed a fourth base. Was that worthwhile? I kind of don't think so. I mean, that was such an expensive army. That wasn't just like Hellions or something, right? I mean, that was Liberators, tanks, fours. This was everything. The only things that got out of there was the Raven and a few Vikings. And now INnoVation has to kind of focus up on rebuilding those units which he just lost. And if you have to refocus on building those, it's going to be very difficult for you to kind of go in towards the Raven switch, like we saw back in Catalyst, which he was able to do because he was just kind of left alone for so long. And he backed up here by the Locusts as they come in to help fight against this army now. Some anti-armor missiles trying to help out. And these few Ravagers just committing forwards. A couple Corrosive Bowels. Doesn't quite get close enough to get some damage done to make that really count. A little bit of a shame. Another couple of roaches coming across. We are going to see these swarm hosts continue to move around as well. Two more Liberators on the way out, and we are going to be seeing just a few Vikings and the Raven just moving forwards and just again sticking around overhead. Top side, that Liberator going to try and see what it can do as well, try and harass a little bit. It feels like this game's been all about Rogue so far. I mean, INnoVation had that strong push, but even after that, it just feels like everything seems to just be slightly Rogue favored, you know? I'm trading a little bit better as well. I mean, 5 bases apiece, that works pretty well for Rogue. INnoVation actually ahead on workers. He's 92 against 70. It's an insane number here at the moment as we are going to see those Locusts expiring. And we are going to be having, again, these Locusts just pushing forwards and towards the upper right-hand side. And we try and drop down towards the front as well, as we do see a couple of refineries will be in some trouble. They get taken down there pretty quickly. Still some Roaches and Ravagers trying to see where they can come in from in the next few moments. Locusts over here don't get too much more done. Hellbats and tanks going to move on forwards. Roaches are going to fight away here. Tanks are very late to siege, so he actually gets quite a lot of good damage done. Anti-armor missile, though, is going to force the Roaches back for the moment. Rogue is just still staying on the forefront of aggression, just waiting for his Locust cooldown to come out once again, so he can spring another fight. You know, he wants to make the most of those Locust cooldowns. The more damage you do with the Locust, the more value from the Swarm hosts. the better a time you're going to have in terms of a follow-up here. The Locust come in from a bit to the north, and it looks as though INnoVation is just going to run away from this. Doesn't want to connect, or doesn't want to commit. Dropping down, we are going to be seeing these Locusts continue to come on in. So, coming through, we're just going to be seeing these Siege Tanks being picked away at. One of them goes down to 1 HP, but otherwise surviving. 2 more Vikings on the way up. Hyperflight Rotors coming in as well here from INnoVation. +1 melee upgrade coming through too for Rogue. Hydralisk Den with the most skill augments. +1 flyer attack, as we mentioned, as he does double Spire. And it looks as though we're going to be having an air army here later. I mean, it's interesting that INnoVation is going in towards like the larger Banshee player later into the game now. I mean, if anyone was known for kind of playing the Banshees early in the game, it always was INnoVation. He's shown us that a few times lately as well. Hold that fort. Locust dropping down. I mean, the Blue Flame Hellions do so much against this. These tanks are just so stacked up and pushing in. Rogue is going to clean up pretty much everything here. So, Rogue with a lot of cleanups, and he really feels as though he wants to take this to a game number 5. INnoVation had a 2-0 lead on this one, but honestly, at this stage, I mean, INnoVation has just been beaten all over the place. He does find himself some damage here on the Swarm Hosts. Obviously, killing some of those would be nice, but then Rogue still has a bank behind to replenish and rebuild how he wants. Banshee count is coming through, and the Banshees with Hyperflight Rotors, I mean, I guess it's kind of a response to the Swarm Hosts when there isn't Hydras on the map. They can be very powerful, and if they come forwards and pick off a few Swarm Hosts all at once, definitely going to be some value, and then, of course, they can be used against the Roaches and Ravagers as well. I wonder if that's maybe why we have a Spire in play here, an option for Rogue that he could be able, he could put to use. Locust starting to come in towards that planetary fortress, as we are going to be seeing Banshees already getting to work on some of those Roaches. Planetary fortress is actually getting quite a lot done right now. Meanwhile, Roach is going to run in towards the natural, and this is just Rogue being really all over the place. Although the Vikings landing going to get quite a few Roach kills on the left-hand side. I think it's the Roaches and Ravagers on the right that just aren't being dealt with at all at the moment. He sees one of those armories is really spinning away here, so he's going to pick that off, get the other as well, because if you ever won that upgrade, well, now you have to rebuild it. There's the air attack upgrade too, so it's actually kind of a nice upgrade to have. Splits up once again, knowing that these units can't be everywhere, and just trying to maximize his damage. Battles his way through the front door. Again, just so much damage being done. A few Locusts joined the fray over on the 3rd base, and now INnoVation really feels as though he's in trouble, man. I mean, the work again is slipping away. That said, he's still on even workers with Rogue. Somehow, some way, he's actually going to lose this orbital here. Oh my god, no way! What a save! INnoVation! This was like 1 HP. It lifts up, it gets repaired last second as it was still burning down. Oh, is it still going to burn down? It's burning, it's going to go. There's no SCVs left. Oh, it's going to go down in the end. This was so close. That's kind of insane. The meter Remax here is pretty deadly, actually, because the Banshees obviously just don't do anything against those Mutalisks. And the Mutalisks can just chase them down and just trade so well. Just needs an Overseer here. I mean, tanks going down, the Hellbats going down. Where is the Overseer? Well, actually, the Overseer's already here, so yes, those Banshees are not really going to last all too long. The meters going to work their way through as Hellbats on the ground go down. He's getting himself a few of the Swarm Hosts, but again, it's not really overall worthwhile. INnoVation actually gets away for the moment. Locust is going to deal with a couple of Siege Tanks that came forwards as well. INnoVation's in so much trouble. Roaches pop back up in the main base. Natural gone. 3rd base trying to be replaced. 4th is actually mine, and so is the 5th. These bases have had the least trouble of all. But this 3rd base has been on an endless onslaught of Locusts. Roaches and Ravagers have been trying to push into the natural in the main all game long. Banshees up here are getting some good damage done. It's the Banshees, the one thing that's keeping INnoVation in the game at the moment. It's the one thing that he's got, but the thing that he doesn't have is an answer to these Mutalisks. And so what does it matter if the Banshees are doing good damage if these Mutants are just going to do even better damage across the map? Right now, INnoVation cannot build a single unit, and of course, all Rogue needs to do is build a little bit more anti-air, and you'll be able to deal with those Banshees no problem at all. There's a few Vikings up here, but again, it's not really enough, and as they pop out, they're getting taken down one at a time. He comes over here, he's going to target the tech labs, or the factories with tech labs, so the Falls can't come out. That would be a bit more difficult for him to deal with here, actually, as we're going to see the Widow Mines. He actually gets rid of one, he splits up to minimize the damage, and yeah, it's good enough. Well, there's actually quite a few Widow Mines on the low ground, and there was a missile turret. And yet still, he's going to be able to turn this around and still fight against some of these, as we're going to be seeing. Okay, maybe protect the production, fair enough, but I think INnoVation realizes that's all he's going to do, protect his production. GG, and we are these fucking games. This community sometimes is really just so shitty. I'm honestly The longer I spend casting StarCraft and throwing everything I have into StarCraft, the more I wonder how anyone in this industry has put up with some of the shitty people that are around. I don't know how there's motivation to just be part of StarCraft when the community just shits on people again and again and again. I'm just so done. Like, Jesus. Alright, let's wrap this up, guys. The bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player is INnoVation. And his opponent to the top left, tying things up, is our red Zerg player, Rogue. Alright. So, let's see what's going to go on. Wardy's a fucking whiner. He always brings up haters during the tournament. Think anyone here watching it wants to hear you crying? Well, you know what, dude? Just don't fucking watch. How fucking stupid do you have to be to sit here watching something you don't want to listen to? It's my stream. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't have to do exactly what you want me to do. If you want that to happen, maybe you should do it on your stream, and you should put in the endless fucking hours. Or maybe you shouldn't, because it's a thankless fucking job. Aye, aye, aye. Get out of here. Don't come back. Literally go bitch on Reddit or something, because you are the last person I ever want to see again. That is the fastest permaban I've ever given out. Jesus Christ. I'm so done. Alright. So, let's go into this. CVT. We've had some long games in this CVT. This is quite something so far. This is quite something so far. Huh. Factory coming down. And we're just going to be seeing the link speed coming up here from Rogue to get things going. Couple of queens on the way out, and we're just going to be seeing a couple of drones coming through as well. So, obviously, early game, not too crazy. The Reaper Dance starts off with a few Zerglings. So just try and get a little bit something done here in the next couple of moments. Obviously, for now, it looks to be just that macro focus out. One gas means that third CC comes down pretty much every time. I'm just going to be seeing the Reaper coming over, trying to work its way through the third base. So, we're going to pop back down in towards the center, and we are going to see link speed coming up. And we are just going to have a couple more Hellions on the way through. Second refinery just come down. Interesting, he puts on the natural. I guess that actually makes things a little bit more intriguing, right? Like, I guess it makes it more difficult to scout what's going on. And if you come in here and already see this gas mine, you might think, wow, 3 gases, you know, that's probably going to be some mech, right? You know, it's kind of like a little bit of a weird mind game as we see this barracks lifting up off the tech lab, drops back down. Starport starts up with a Viking, and we are just going to be seeing another couple of Hellions coming out right here. Rotron going to be dropping down on the natural expansion as well, and we are going to be having that stim pack coming up right now for INnoVation. Factory moves off of the reactor. Another couple of barracks going to come down, though. Obviously, stim means bio. INnoVation going back to the bio here for game number 5. So, back to bio, looking to see what we can do. As we do see the Rotron already coming into play, though, for Rogue. So, just coming in towards this, and we're going to see this Viking working his way through the Overlord. And, yeah, Overlord going to get popped right there. So, Overlord goes down. And as the Overlord drops, we are just going to be seeing the Viking moving out. And towards the center of the map, a few more Overlords just on the way up. And we do just see the Reaper grenade coming down. Queen gets popped. And again, a couple of Hellions and the Reaper from INnoVation coming back around to the right-hand side. I mean, the nice thing for Inno is he's kind of getting away with the kind of the greed this game, right? The third CC is in position, it's building SCVs, the engineering bays are coming up, the upgrades will start before the Zerg starts the upgrades. I think you got to look at this right now as INnoVation. Everything's kind of going quite good for him at the moment, so I think he's got to be kind of happy with this, as we are going to be seeing a couple of refineries obviously continue to be added on, because at this stage he wants to start up medevac production and upgrades and siege tanks. So you really do need like a lot of gas all at once. You can see the Viking is going to fight here against this Overlord, so a little bit more damage being done once again. He's going to be able to get the kill on that as Queen's going to push on in. Just going to be pushing that Viking off and away over to the left-hand side. And we are going to be, in the meantime, having... well, the Roach is just kind of coming back through. So the Viking goes down. Viking falls, and as the Viking falls, we still do have the Lair finishing up, and obviously opportunities for Rogue. He'll play Roach speed, right? I mean, he obviously didn't even really make Lings at all this game, so he's going to play Roaches against this bio style. For INnoVation, what he's going to want to aim for is probably a good amount of siege tanks. Against Roaches, siege tanks are really the answer. Obviously, you don't want Widow Mines, that's something you want kind of more against Ling Bane. Roaches, tanks are just going to be the absolute kind of golden unit. If you can get a good tank lineup before, you know, an attack before Vipers are really on the field, it's so difficult for the Zerg to deal with. Nice attempt of a Hellion run by, but it doesn't come to much. It'd be amazing if those Hellions did something, because at this stage you're not going to get much more use out of them while playing macro. So it kind of just makes sense, as we are going to be seeing a few Hellions coming in over on the right. And we're just going to be seeing this Overseer. Just going to move back out in towards the center. 1-1 missile upgrades coming through, and we're going to see this army from INnoVation dropping down on the natural as well. The two medevacs with two 60 Marines inside. Going to come off over to the left, and we are going to be seeing combat shields is about halfway done. So, I mean, obviously it's that sort of stage of the game where you want to start cleaning up some creep. Oh, he's just on the edge here, so he is going to be seen. He also has the Hellions on the right, still trying to find something. Unfortunately now the Roaches really are starting to shut this down. And a scan comes in, so a couple of creep teamers can be picked off. So, a couple of creep teamers going down. And we're just going to be seeing those Roaches in a little bit of trouble here once again. Ravagers coming in from the right-hand side. Medevac's lifting up and getting out of that. Roaches and Ravagers just going to be coming through and just going to be seeing those rocks in some trouble. Zerglings trying to run on through as well, but again, tanks, Marines in position to shut it down. Still working their way through those rocks, and as those rocks fall, obviously INnoVation is going to have to be able to defend this third base. He's got tanks though, and I think realistically pushing down then up a ramp in a choke point. So a difficult position to really fight, as you see though. These medevacs, they need to pick up those Marines and get them back over here. Tanks are siege. There is a run by into the natural though, and it's a good distraction maybe to actually get this fight going. Oh, those depots on the right hand side are actually fully exposed. Okay, Rogue's gonna go for it. SCVs have to start pulling in to defend this here. There's still Lings going in on the natural. Oh, INnoVation, does he have enough at all? I really thought these tanks were going to carry him, but in the end, it just... well, maybe they still do in the end. These last few Roaches and Ravagers are struggling a little bit. Eventually, he breaks on through, and the third base has to be lifted up. INnoVation just doesn't seem to have much left at all. It's continuing to push on forwards. Rogue is just going to go straight through into the natural. I mean, some SCVs getting pulled in. Another few corrosive battles coming down. Another siege tank falls. Even if INnoVation cleans up here, I mean, he's lost so many workers. He's lost the third base. The depots go down, which kind of opens up the pathway to get a few units out, although the SCVs blocking was actually a nice little addition there. And, well, one thing you have to be kind of worried about for Rogue, I guess, if you got to look at a way he could lose this, the upgrades are going INnoVation's way. He will hit 2-2. And so Rogue has to be a little bit careful with just how much he streams into this and doesn't think about further upgrades for himself. Yes, he's still doing masses of damage now. He can still pull back and force the third base to live. Kill all of these depots over here as well. There's so much Rogue can do at the moment. But if he makes a couple of mistakes, if he takes a fight against 2-2 with a few tanks supporting, I can still really see how this can just go massively wrong for him very quickly. So, we'll see what happens. We're just going to be seeing Supply Depot going to get taken down. Roaches and Ravagers pushing forwards, and corrosive battles don't really land on anything, but at this stage, right, what does INnoVation do? Even if Rogue just sort of sits, I mean, if Rogue just sits here, that's all he has to do, right? He just sits here, he just splits up a little bit. These units of INnoVation just have to keep on coming forwards. I really think this is one of those scenarios where... yeah, I really think this is one of those scenarios where I think INnoVation's done for. Ah, man. INnoVation was 2-up in this series, and Rogue has turned it into a 3-2, which apparently is something that Rogue is just so freaking good at. Tanks on the high ground, sieging up, and that is something that you have to be a little bit careful of right here as Rogue. You can see the bio starting to do work. I mean, that's the power of 2-2. You can see those upgrades coming into play with well-placed tanks on the high ground. is actually insane. The tanks are going to start dropping now, but boy, did this bio put up a bit of a fight towards the end here. Again, that's the power of upgrades. We've seen it in the PVT earlier today, and right now we're seeing it in the ZVT as well. As the armory will go down, the bio from INnoVation keeps on pushing forwards, and well, I mean, this really is just about it, I think. I think this is just about it at the moment. Rogue backs away, morphs in another few Ravages, 8 more Roaches on the way up. A little bit more bio of INnoVation, continue to gather those few depots to the side. Rogue just feels he can win this right here and now with the kind of units he has, and yeah, I mean, I believe that as well. I believe that as well. Maybe it would have been easier if you just sort of droned up a little bit and maybe just made a 2-2 upgrades and go. But then I guess you maybe sort of open yourself to the counterattack because he didn't purely make units. Then again, he wouldn't have traded so badly pushing in towards the natural in that defensive tank position, because that really did hurt, as we're going to be seeing the Corrosive Bowels still coming down. Siege tank from INnoVation sets up here, and we are just going to be seeing Rogue moving back out in towards the center. A little bit of bio, trying to come forwards here and seeing what might happen. Roaches and Ravages still just pushing on in. And it looks as though, I mean, INnoVation still kiting backwards to try and escape. He's going to stay in this until the very end. Remember, it's a difference of $3,500. Bio unloads once again. INnoVation sent his third base out to the left side. If only to maybe scan with it, or maybe try to mule it a little bit. Anyways, we are going to be seeing just Bowels coming down, and again, reinforcements coming over. 2-2 is on the way now as well. And it looks as though we have reached ourselves the end of INnoVation's run. The third place will be all he can get here. We will be casting the grand finals in a very few moments as well. Obviously, that's going to be between Hero and Neeb. The difference between $36,000 and $12,000 on the line for that best of 5. As we do see, well, here we go once again. This time, Rogue maybe has enough to really push on through. And we are going to see the siege tanks falling. The Marines are going. And this is going to be just about it. INnoVation. Well, he's actually got a drop across the map, which is maybe the one thing that's causing some issues at the moment. It's maybe one of the reasons that Rogue was able to push up here somewhat easily compared to before. I mean, obviously his army's been growing as well, right? And he's been mining properly, but obviously the fact that INnoVation has 3 medevacs of units out on the map doesn't really help him defend the natural at all. Another few Corrosive Bowels coming up. This orbital continues to go on down. I'm just going to see those medevacs continue to come around the right-hand side. Unloading once again. And the medevacs just healing up once more. We're just coming through, just going to be coming in and just going to be cleaning this up. And again, you're just lifting Ravages. Can they hit the magic Bowels? You can try. Let's see if he can. Oh, if he can try if he wants. He doesn't have to try. Okay, Rogue. You know, that could have been really fun. You don't want to try and hit the magic Bowels? Why not, bro? This is INnoVation channeling his inner fantasy right now for some real fantasy timing, fantasy level GG timing. Bio drops down again. I mean, Queens transfusing each other, trying to keep themselves up at the moment. And we are just going to be seeing these Marines. I mean, in the end, they will go down. There's a drop over here. I mean, Rogue is just playing defensively. He's actually getting a Spire because he's just kind of sick of this. He's like, dude, really? INnoVation just going to try and stay in this again as long as he can. As these few Roaches and Ravens continue to push those medevacs away. And INnoVation, I mean, I don't know what to say. This game was over about 5 minutes ago, and somehow INnoVation, well, I mean, INnoVation stayed in the game. Did he really kind of start pulling himself back into the game? I don't think so. GG's, and Rogue takes game number 5.